Hi everyone, I hope you are all well. If you haven't seen my previous video, I did explain in that I am filming this before New Year, but because of my rubbish broadband, I'm going to upload my videos and such at my mum and dad's house on New Year's Day when I'm spending the day with them. So currently it's New Year's Eve and I'm going to be filming in bulk, of my various things that I want to do before New Year. So expect me wearing this top and everything for quite a few videos. But right now I want to talk about the book I've been reading lately. It's my last read of 2019, and that is The Help by Kathryn Stockett. Now, this is a book that I bought a while ago. I have seen the film many times. Really enjoyed the film, but I just hadn't gotten around to reading the book. And then I was like, it was there. I think it was under like a buy one get one half price offer or something. So I got it, and I ended up then just sticking it in my bookcase and kind of forgetting about it. But it was, I was going through my bookcases. It was there, and it was on my top bucket list poster. That 100 books bucket list poster, sorry. And so I was like, right, I'm going to read it, because I wanted to make sure that all the books that were on that bucket list that I had in my book collection were read by the end of 2019, and now I have done it, having read The Help. So in case you haven't come across it, The Help is set in the early 60s in in Mississippi, south of northern part of America, and it's about how segregation and everything, how the black community of that area are basically raising the children, the white babies, as it were, the white families that they serve. As Skia says, we love them. We look, we do. We connect. We have life with them. Yet we don't allow them to use the same bathroom as us. Why? And Miss Skeeter, in in this book, she wants to be a journalist, wants to be a writer and such, and she sees this and sees this as an opportunity to write a book about these various experiences. And she comes in contact with, because she already knows them from her various social circles and everything, the servants, Minnie and Aibeline, and the three of them together form this this circle, as it were, to bring these stories together. And it's about the things that they do, things that they find and everything. And underlining it, we have a character, Miss Hilly, who is kind of she doesn't regard, she looks down on racists, but she is a racist. She's setting an act in motion through kind of local government, as it were, to make it that every white household with a black servant must have a separate bathroom for the servant, because they spread different diseases. Yeah, she's a horrible character, and there's a whole story with her and a wonderful character called Celia Foote, who desperately wants to get in on the circle, as it were. Of not the circle of Minnie, Aibeline and Skeeter for what they're doing, but the societal circle which Hilly is the head of, and such. So those are kind of the things that play about in this book. This is the first book of Kathryn's that I've read. I don't know if she's published any other books. I think this was her debut novel. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea if she's published any other books, because I haven't looked into it. So I went into it really not knowing what to expect. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I didn't mind it. I didn't hate it. It was a strong novel, but I'm not thinking, oh my god, I cannot possibly let this leave my bookshelf. But it is a really good, strong piece of writing. I really liked how what she did was that she wrote it as first person perspective, but every few chapters the perspective would change. So you see, like, a top of page, say, like Aibeline, chapter 1 to chapter 4, let's say, and then at the top it'll say Minnie, and in chapter 5, 6, 7, then Skeeter, chapter 8, 9, 10, that kind of thing. The only time she breaks with this way of writing is when there is an event that's the benefit, which is written in third person perspective, and that has its own heading, the benefit. So, and as soon as that chapter is over, it's quite a chunky chapter, but once that chapter is over, it goes back to the first person perspective. I do really adore the fact that this book is all about relationships of women from all different levels of society and the connections that you can have with people. It's very, strong women, and you have very horrible women, and you have weak women as well. Like the character of Elizabeth, who Aileen works for, she doesn't really like being around her daughter. She's very much, you deal with that, Aileen, and everything. And then she does something which she thinks is okay. It doesn't seem too bad, but then suddenly, because Hilly kind of goes about it or something, or just gives her a glance, Elizabeth completely flips out and she gets kind of hysterical and gets really angry for no reason, that kind of thing. It's like she's trying to do what she thinks is right, but as soon as she realises that Miss Queen Bee Hilly don't like it, she changes character, she changes perspective on things. But I love the fact that you have strong characters who don't necessarily know that they're strong. And in a way, Elizabeth kind of does fall into that category. She's a bit of an odd one, but she kind of does, because she has the strength to, at times, they're not often, but they are there, to maybe do something that's slightly different, or that that Hilly might frown upon or whatever. But it's because she's doing what she wants to do. And another character who completely fills that category is Celia Foote, who I absolutely fell in love with. I adored Celia. Celia is a girl from a woman, should I say, from Shoreditch, right down in, like, the southern parts of North America, and she's basically, in a way, she's white trash, that kind of part of the world and everything. She's a genuinely wonderful person, but Hilly and her society group look down on her and everything and don't give her the time of day. Minnie, who comes to have this really wonderful relationship with her, at first kind of, she's like, okay, she's a bit, she's not this. I love the fact there is a line actually that Minnie says, where she says, she's not smart, but she's not an idiot. And I love that. Like, she's recognising she's not had the best education in the world, but she knows when something's up, and everything. And she's just a genuinely beautiful, wonderful person. And the journey that she takes with Minnie is it's extraordinary. It's an extraordinary journey. I absolutely love it. I think she's probably my favourite character, because she's the one, as soon as I think of the help, especially because, as I said, I've seen the film many times before, she's the character that stands out for me in both the film and the book. The first character I think of when I think of this story. She's really, she's a sweetheart, and I love her. I absolutely love her. The bits like the terrible awful that Minnie did to Hilly, I think everybody who has read this book or has seen the film can pretty much say they've never heard of this situation ever happening before in any story, either fictional or non-fiction. It's an interesting moment, I'll say that, and it made me laugh when I was reading it. So it did make me laugh, this book. I didn't cry. I thought I might do, because the film actually does get me teary-eyed. Not cry my eyes out, but it does get me teary-eyed. So I thought the book would, but it didn't. So, you know, that was, yeah, a bit unexpected, but, you know. What else did I love? I did love, yeah, the way it was constructed, the characterizations, the connections that there, and the overall relationships and everything. But it didn't tick all the boxes for me. It was almost like I'm right. I've said this before. I'm trying to think of a way to phrase it. I've said this before, that when I really adore something, a book or whatever, I have completely gone into that world. I am a part of it. I am feeling everything. I'm emotionally connecting to all the characters, and that emotional connection wasn't quite there for me. It wasn't like when I read Children of the Blood and Bone, where I said how I felt like the connection was so off that I was behind a a pane of glass that I couldn't get through. With the help, I got through, but I'm sat on a chair a few meters away, as it were, from the scene. So I'm closer than Children of Blood and Bone, but I'm not quite there yet. So I didn't necessarily feel emotional connection to the characters. I suppose the one I did feel closest to was probably Celia, because I adored her so much. But yeah, I wasn't quite there with it. I enjoyed it. I would read it again. I would definitely recommend it. I didn't get bored. I found it flowed very well. It was well constructed, but something wasn't totally there. I can't put my finger on exactly what it was, but because of it, I wasn't completely emotionally connected to the world, to the characters. And yeah, as I said, I didn't get upset or anything like that. So it's an almost there, but a not quite there for me. It's, yeah, as you know, various reviewers have said on here, how vivid certain things are, like the food is really important in this book, and you can see it, you can understand textures and everything. But I was like, that connection thing that I just mentioned, like I could see the food, I can maybe feel it, I couldn't smell it, I couldn't feel it through my body, as it were. Yeah, things like that. I'm almost there, but I'm not quite there with it, with fully emotionally connecting to it. And that's something else. I really loved the really powerful scenes in it, to do with racism, to do with, you know, various events that happened. And one event when Skeeter goes to a library and she picks up a book that's about what those in the black community can and cannot do in their area. And I want to read a bit to kind of show you what Miss Hilly is like and Miss Skeeter is like. So basically, Skeeter's got that book and she'd left it in her bag, and Hilly had managed to look in her bag and see it. And this is a while later, they're at the local club swimming. This is first person perspective of Aibileen, and she's sat with the kids in the shade, looking after them, while all the other ladies are around the pool, and Miss Skeeter is just arriving. So, hey Skeeter, why, we tried to call. Her teeth is just about shattering that she's smiling so big. Sorry, that was Hilly. I forgot to say Miss Hilly is that opening line. Hey Elizabeth. Tennis? Miss Leafold asked, nodding her head like she's a doll on a dashboard. Who are you playing with? I was hitting balls on the backboard by myself, Miss Skeeter say. She blow a thicket of hair off her forehead, but it's stuck. She don't move out the sun, though. Hilly, Miss Skeeter say. Did your May tell you that I called? Hilly smiled, kinda tight. She's off today. I called you yesterday, too. Look, Skeeter, I didn't have time. I have the campaign ahead queue since Wednesday, addressing envelopes to practically every white person in Jackson. All right, Miss Skeeter nodded. Then she squinted, saying, Hilly, did I do something to upset you? And I feel my fingers jiggling again, twirling that dumb invisible pencil. Miss Hilly closed her magazine, put it on the concrete so she don't get her grease on it. This should be discussed at a later time, Skeeter. Miss Leafold, I forgot to mention, Miss Leafold is Elizabeth, who Abilene works for. Miss Leafold sit back down real quick. She picks up Miss Hilly's Good Housekeeping, starts reading it like she ain't ever seen nothing so important. All right, Miss Skeeter shrugged. I just thought that we could talk about whatever this is before you go out of town. Miss Hilly about to protest, but then she let out a long sigh. Why don't you just tell the truth, Skeeter? The truth about what? Look, I found that paraphernalia of yours. I swallow hard. Miss Hilly's trying to whisper, but she really ain't good at it. Miss Skeeter keep her eye on Hilly. She real calm. Don't look up at me at all. What paraphernalia do you mean? In your satchel, when I was hunting for the minutes? And Skeeter, she flashes her eyes up to the sky and back down. I don't know. I just do not know anymore. Hilly, what are you talking about? What did you see in my satchel? I look at the kids. Lord, I almost forgot about them. I feel like I'm going to faint listening to this. Those laws you're carrying around? About what the... Miss Hilly looked back at me. I keep my eyes trained to the pool. What those other people can and cannot do, and frankly, she hissed, I think it's downright pig-headed of you to think you know better than our government, than Russ Barnett. When did I ever say a word about Russ Barnett? Miss Skeeter said. Miss Hilly wagged her finger up at Miss Skeeter. Miss Leafold staring at the same page, same line, same word. I got the whole scene fixed in the corner of my eye. You're not a politician, Skeeter Flynn. Well, neither are you, Hilly. Miss Hilly, stand up then. She pointed her finger to the ground. I am about to be a politician's wife, unless you have anything to do with it. How is William ever going to get elected in Washington, D.C. one day if we have interracial friends in our closets? Washington? Miss Skeeter rolled her eyes. William's running for the local Senate, Hilly. He may not even win. Oh, Lord. I finally let myself look at Miss Skeeter. Why are you doing this? Why are you pushing her hot button? Oh, Miss Hilly's mad now. She snapped her head straight. You know well as I do there are good tax-paying white people in this town who will fight you to the death on this. You want to let them go in our swimming pools? Let them put their hands on everything in our grocery stores? Miss Skeeter stared long and hard at Miss Hilly. Then for 1/2 a second Miss Skeeter glanced at me, sees the pleading in my eyes. Her shoulders eased back some. Oh, Hilly, it's just a booklet. I found it in the darn library. I'm not trying to change any laws. I took it home to read. Miss Hilly, take this in a second. But if you're looking at those laws, Miss Hilly snaps the leg on her bathing suit that's crimped up her behind. I have to wonder, what else are you up to? Miss Skeeter shifted her eyes away, lick her lips. Hilly, you know me better than anyone else in this world. If I was up to something, you'd have me figure out in 1/2 a second. Miss Hilly just watched her. Then Miss Skeeter grabbed Miss Hilly's hand and squeezed it. I'm worried about you. You disappear for an entire week. You're working yourself to death on this campaign. Look at this. Miss Skeeter turned Miss Hilly's palm over. You have a blister from addressing all those envelopes. A real slow, I watched Miss Hilly's body slump down, start to give in on itself. She looks to make sure that Miss Leafold ain't listening. I'm just so scared, Miss Hilly whispered through her teeth. I can't hear much. Piled so much money into this campaign. If William doesn't win, be working day and... Miss Skeeter lay a hand on Miss Hilly's shoulder. Say something to her. Miss Hilly nodded and gave her a tired smile. After a while, Miss Skeeter told me then she got to go. She head off through the sunbathers, winding through the chairs and the towels. Miss Leafold looked over at Miss Hilly with big eyes, like she's scared to ask her any questions. I leaned back in my chair, waved to May Mobley making twirls in the water. I tried to rub the headache out my temple. Across the way, Miss Skeeter looked back at me. Everyone around us is sunning and laughing and squinting, not a soul guessing that the coloured woman and the white woman with the tennis racket is wondering the same thing. Is we fools to feel some relief? So as you can see, you have these moments that are really quite powerful, and you can feel the tension and the heat, kind of, as it were, in that situation, because it's a hot summer when that's happening. But at the same time, as I said, I can feel the tension and I can sort of feel the heat, but I can't fully feel it. It's a very interesting book. The way it looks at what was going on in the 1960s with race and segregation and everything is very well done. I just didn't fully feel it. So yeah, if I were to give it like out of 10 or something, I'd probably give it an 8, personally. But it's just, yeah, I liked it, but I didn't love it. So when it comes to the film, The Help, which, as I said, I know very well, I've watched it many times, it is pretty much a complete transfer direct from the book to the screen. When I say almost complete, what I mean by that is that there are some events which are in a slightly different order, or there's some events which are in a slightly different location, but overall the actual events, sections, word for word, exactly transferred to the screen version. I love the casting. They are all absolutely amazing. I really think Viola Davis should have got the Oscar that year for Best Actress. I think it went to, I think it was the year that Meryl Streep got it, which wasn't right in my my regard, but I was so glad Octavia Spencer got hers for Best Supporting, because she just got Minnie perfectly. I love Minnie. And Jessica Chastain as Celia is wonderful, and the two of them together just bring a whole new level to the relationship from the book, and the connections are just absolutely wonderful. Definitely 5-star or 10-star, should I say, because I did the book out of 10 for the film. So well constructed, beautifully put together. Cinematography is wonderful, and yes, all the cast very moving. Great film. Okay, so those are my thoughts on The Help, my last book of 2019. Have you read this book? I'd love to know what you think. Leave me a comment in the comments box below, or give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, entirely up to you. I'll let you decide. Now, I've got my review of the year, my Christmas book haul / plan for 2020, and my next read announcements to do. So yeah, so you've got a few more videos coming your way, and yeah. I guess I'm going to be saying this at the end of every book, because it is New Year's Eve. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you have a great time, whatever you plan to do tonight and tomorrow. I'm back at work on the 2nd of January. I can't believe it. This 2 weeks have gone so fast. But yeah, I will see you next time. Bye.